So I've gotten so many emails on the newsletter, like people really, I'll say it this way. It's like a 9-to-1 ratio of people saying, I loved the headline. And then the one ratio is people saying, people are really upset. Can you please be serious and not make fun of it? No.
That's the newbie that just started investing and just bought his first, 0.001 Bitcoin at 126,000. Like, This isn't funny, man. It's like, bro, if you've been around for a while, like, you're numb. Your
first bear market, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to panic. Your second bear market, you're like, oh no, not this again. Your third bear market, it's like, oh, it's doing that thing again. Okay. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So like yesterday's headline was Fear Index hits fetal position. On Tuesday, it was watching my portfolio like a hospice nurse on a double night shift. Yeah. It's just a healthy correction, says man currently listing his blood plasma on eBay. Actually, yeah, I actually picked that one. I asked, you picked that one. It was your vote.
That was my vote.
I had some others. I don't remember what they were. The altcoin index is green today, which means we're only down 40% instead of 42%. Checking charts every 5 minutes really paying off in terms of stress. Yep. Oh, and a brief moment of joy successfully converted into extended suffering. Yeah. See, gotta play it painful. All right. So, okay, the numbers that I had in my notes here. None of these price levels are correct right now because they're all changing quite a bit. Because Ethereum, as I'm talking right now, is down to $1,983. Actually, I can share the screen here, right, Ed? Is that right?
Oh, damn. I mean, you had that one brief moment like, oh, it's over.
One day.
Then,
one day where it's like, this is the bottom, guys. No.
I saw a lot of people calling bottom on Twitter.
It was all like the memes of
this tweet.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm not leaving. Okay. So, all right. This is going to throw the whole schedule of what we're talking about. Basically, for those of you who have watched this is our 6th episode. It's not like we have a huge back catalog, but usually we go into, like the kind of an intro, and then we go into like capitulation station, which is where we look at everything happening that's kind of ugly, and then we go into market movers, and then we get into hard stops, things that are policy wise or personality wise in crypto, and then we get into like the things that looked better last night section. And that is where that's what this entire podcast is pretty much going to be about. Because everything I had written down here that's going to like take a back seat to the nightmare going on. All right. So because Ethereum, we were talking about this before. Oh, okay. Wait, I will let you go. Start with your Michael Saylor, Tom Lee, Joy, Cilantro, go.
So I mean, we'll find a politically correct way to say this, but if you had to bet on one of these legless horses, which would you choose in the race?
The vet with the gun.
So I just look at these two guys, and I've trashed Michael Saylor for a very long time, mostly when he started these whole AI generated images of him doing, shirtless boxing and all this stuff. I'm just thinking like, wow, if you cared about your company and your strategy, as much as you cared about these AI images, you might be in better shape. Tom Lee is just a fascinating story of someone that, even I looked up to for like stock market wisdom. And then I see him selling his soul to chase these crypto treasury dreams, try to be the next Michael Saylor. And I was like, why would that be a role model of yours? And just watching the reputation that he built, over decades just absolutely crumble. It has been
unless it rallies here and goes off to new all-time highs. Yeah. So the reason why I'm sticking on the Ethereum screen here is because, in a nutshell, 1800 is a level that could really hurt Bitmine because of the leverage they may or may not still have currently in that position. Now, there were fears that, Strategy's Bitcoin position is now in the red. Before, I think it was like a couple months ago, people aren't so scared of that anymore because they don't have leverage in it anymore. It's not a thing. So it's just their spot position is just, well, I guess, all right, if you want to be technical, they are using some kind of, some type of leverage, a little bit of an arbitrage going on between their stock price. The one thing I don't get about don't get me wrong, I like the dude and what he's done for crypto, but I also don't understand his case of being such a Bitcoin bull, but really wanting people to get exposure to it through a stock ticker. Like,
see, that's been my argument against this thing for the longest time. So we've got a sales rep here that we've had this discussion. I kid you not, when MicroStrategy was at like 460. And one of my very good friends, he's been talking about strategy for years. And I've just been like, but why own a stock that tracks Bitcoin at a premium? At the time, it was like 1.5, 1.6 times NAV. And now their argument has changed to, now it's only 0.8 times their Bitcoin holdings, like market cap. I was like, well, same situation. If you think Bitcoin's going to 300,000 and the stock price would go to this, like, why not just own Bitcoin? Why do you want to own it through this? Like, I get that before, when, all the major institutions and owning in your retirement accounts, all this stuff, like, you couldn't own Bitcoin directly. So you had to have some sort of vehicle to invest through it. So that was like the whole use case of strategy, MicroStrategy at the time. Yeah. But like, that's all changed. So what the hell is the point of owning? If you like Ethereum, buy freaking Ethereum. Why are you going to invest in Bitmine immersion wrapped Ethereum trade that hasn't worked out? Like, I just don't get it. And there's, you stake it. It's like, you can stake yourself. Buy your damn Ethereum and stake it. The fuck do you need this?
There's a lot of things where you can stake, and the staking thing, like, thankfully now I think like most people recognize that Bitcoin is easy to buy. Like, you're not limited to buying a Bitcoin. When people are like, it's kind of like a stock now. Like, everything's fractionalized. If you want, if you don't want to buy a full stock of Nvidia, you don't have to. You want to buy $5 of it, you can buy $5 worth of it. Everything's fractionalized. But the staking things, people still have there is some truth to it. Like, you need to have, I think you still need to have like 30 Ethereum to stake. But there's platforms like in Kraken and other exchanges. You don't have to have that amount. You can stake it. They take a small cut, but actually a fairly large cut they take. But yeah, Ethereum.
You can stake on Robinhood. You just got to give 25%.
Yeah, that's it. Which is crazy. I mean, yeah, it's nuts. I don't.
Is it still at 25%, or did they finally bring that down?
I'm not sure, actually, off the top of my head. I have not looked. Let's see. So another thing about Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin. That guy. Let's see. So he made this post, and he made a follow-up one last night or this morning that I haven't read yet. But basically, he came out and said layer 2s are like, no, we don't need those anymore. And so for those of you who don't understand this, a layer 1 is like the base, network. It's the base block. You can think of it like that's your internet. And then all the things that are built on the internet, like e-commerce, social networks, all that stuff, that's like a layer 2. That is a horrible example, and somebody's going to come on here and say, well, that's technically how that should have. But listen, that's just to make the point. Layer 2s on Ethereum were created because a lot of them addressed a problem with Ethereum, and that was very expensive gas fees or random gas fees, congestion, and it was just kind of a pain in the ass. So there were things like Aptos, Arbitrum, Optimism. Worst name for crypto in the history of crypto.
Optimism.
Worst name. Where they were designed basically to do all the things like the transactions on their end, and then everything gets, like all done there, and then it gets sent back to the Ethereum blockchain where everything gets all packaged away and filed away nicely. Well, basically with the upgrades that Ethereum has had, Buterin's like, we don't need those L2s anymore. But also in my brain, I'm like, this is kind of an asshole move too, because back in 2020 or so, Buterin was like, we need everything built on Ethereum. Everything's going to be built on Ethereum. Everybody needs to build on Ethereum. So everybody should just come to Ethereum and build. And then all of a sudden, when there's entities that have taken away some of the business of what Ethereum's as an L1 has done, he's like, no, we don't want you guys around anymore. Don't need you. Things are better here. So it's been kind of a shit show. I want to pull up. Actually, I don't need to pull them up. I'll just go over these. So I was just looking right before here. Some of the largest layer 2s, like Arbitrum. From its 2024 all-time high, it is down 94.66%. Aptos is down 78% since October 2025. And then Optimism, its all-time high was at $4. It's currently trading at 21 cents. And just like to give you an idea of like what kind of a shit show that thing has been since September 2025, it's down 76%. The only L2 that doesn't look like it's like bleeding on the floor is, well, I mean, they all look like that, but Starknet, if somebody's going to come around like a medic and you're going to do like triage, Starknet would be saved first because everybody else is already dead. Starknet is only down 16%. Actually, there might be a typo. You know what? Don't listen to what I said about Starknet because I could be way wrong. I could be right. I could be wrong. Either way, they all look like dog shit when you look at the long-term chart. And that's just layer 2s. They're already down a lot. So I don't know how much more damage can be done, but who knows?
Starknet a playoff Tony Stark?
No, I always thought it was, but I don't think it is. Starknet's like a privacy thing. And Buterin thought he wrote or said something about like layer 2s focusing on privacy is a good thing, but all these other things that are built, the problem is there's I don't know, this is like a whole bag of worms that is just a nightmare. Jeez, now we're down to 1935 for Ethereum, down almost 10% for the day.
I saw MicroStrategy is down 13% and Bitmine immersion is down another 10%.
I'm going to show this chart because this is the one. People who want a little hope, I've got a little hope for you. Okay, so this, if you're an altcoin person, oh my God, if you're an altcoin person, I feel your pain because if you've been in altcoins, you're one of two things. A really big moron or you have balls of steel. I choose to feel like I have balls of steel because, well, I don't want to be a moron. So you're one of those two things when it comes to altcoins. But so let me get rid of the Ichimoku system because not everybody understands that. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And basically this is telling you like what percentage of Bitcoin makes up the entire market cap of crypto. So currently it's at 59.09%. So out of the entire market cap of all the cryptocurrencies in the world, Bitcoin makes up 59% of that. It's dropped a lot. I mean, relatively from 66% back in June of last year. Now it's at 59%. Here's the deal. As everything in the altcoin market has bled, and that's been the story, Bitcoin has slowly drifted. The thing is when you look at this chart today, it's red, right? That's a big red candle that's getting deeper. What this is telling us is that while the market is dropping in crypto, Bitcoin is underperforming the altcoin market. Altcoins as an aggregate, I mean, but let me be clear, like not all altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin today. That is not the case. But when you look at the entire market cap of altcoins relative to just Bitcoin, they are outperforming Bitcoin. And from a technical perspective, this is a very standard looking bear flag. So what this is saying, if you're looking at just this chart, how would I interpret it? I interpret it as Bitcoin's about to really underperform altcoins. So what does that look like for the rest of the market? Well, it could all keep collapsing, but altcoins don't drop as hard as Bitcoin. Or if there's a recovery, Bitcoin stays where it's at. It slowly drifts lower, or even just slowly a little bit higher, but then alts really rally. This, in either case, to me, over the next 4 to 8 months-ish, it looks like Bitcoin is going to underperform altcoins if it breaks this structure here. So if you're looking at this like any other type of, if this was something you were trading on an hourly chart, 4-hour chart, daily chart, this is a huge bearish continuation setup, which means for altcoins that things look better relative to how they're performing against Bitcoin as of right now. And speaking of as of right now, Bitcoin is down. Woof. Look at that.
I was just looking at these. Ethereum down 7.3%.
We're down below 67K for Bitcoin. By the way, let me just from this swing. Yeah, 65.7 is one to watch. And then below that, 52. And Ethereum, 1,941. Oh, man. If this triggers below 1,800, because when does MicroStrategy reports after the market today?
Yep.
That's going to be a fun phone call. It always, because Tom Lee's going to be with them on the call, and oh man, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, it's so funny. It's like, I don't know. It's get both of the losing coaches from the last round of the NFL playoffs, get them on a call and see how they feel. It's like, that's going to be this. Like, who's destroyed more capital?
Speaking of that, altcoins. But like I said, this is like this entire episode of Cryptotwits is basically a capitulation station. This looked better last night kind of thing, because there's a lot of other stories, but this price action happening right now is just that's the focus because of these big drops that we're looking at. And just to give some context on some of the larger market cap altcoins. So Cardano's down 71% since August of last year. Avalanche, big player in the real world asset tokenization space, is down 74% since September last year, from $36 to $9. Crypto.com's token, CRO, down 80% since August last year, from 38 cents to 7 cents. And when I was going through the tickers, Filecoin, it used to trade at $237 freaking dollars. It is now at 97 cents. That's where that's at. And then Solana, it's on track for the lowest weekly close since January of 2024. It's down 40% since the beginning of this year. That's pretty crazy. And Uniswap, the largest, arguably the most important decentralized exchange in crypto, they are on track for the lowest weekly close in 5+ years. So yeah, it's bloody out there for anybody and everybody. But these digital asset treasury companies, do you follow any of them? Wait, do you put any money in them, Joey?
Absolutely not. No. So what's funny is when it came to like even strategy, when I was having this talk with someone here at StockTwits. It was 460 and change. I was saying, yeah, maybe at like 289, it'd be interesting. And then of course it gets there, bounces. And I was like, oh, maybe 189. Now it's just like, I mean, how low could this thing go? And again, it just goes to the point, like, if I want exposure to Bitcoin, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin. I'm not going to buy strategy. And then you turned me away from Ethereum.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't see any point in owning
For
that.
any viewers who don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Ethereum. I think it's like Ethereum and Solana. I'm very suspicious about them, but and I have been ever since they've been around. I mean, I hope they're a fake it till they make it kind of thing, because that'd be great for the ecosystem. But I think there's a lot of issues with them. Looking at digital asset treasury companies. So let's just kind of going through a little bit of the line here. So, for instance, let's start from the very bottom. So Lion Group, their ticker is LGHL. So July of 2025, they pivoted into being a DAT, a digital asset treasury, where they're holding mainly Hyperledger, Hyperliquid, and Solana. That's 96.4% down. Freight Tech, FRGT, they have Fetch.ai down 93.9%. Let's see, you have Barachain. I remember when people liked Barachain. Probably nobody's ever, not a lot of people never fucking heard of Barachain, but it's down. That DAT GNLN is their position is down 82.9%. Sharp Tech, which is a DAT for Solana, they're down 77%. Tau Synergies, TAOX, they have BitTensor, they're only down 63%. So the ones that like things like Zone, which is Dogecoin, TRNR, FRGT, those hold Fetch, and then the Lion Group one. These are all like if they're again, I haven't like updated anything on these in a couple months as far as if they were leveraged or not. But if they are, they're either liquidated or they're near liquidation. If those DATs are leveraged. And then you get into some of the more bigger named ones like Forward Industries, FWDI, that held Solana. They're still up like 7%. Evernorth XRPN, they hold XRP. They're up like 2.5%. SharpLink Gaming, it's all over. Yeah, and it's a shit show, even for a lot of these DATs, digital asset treasuries. Which, like you were saying, Joey, I don't understand why you wouldn't just buy the crypto tickers themselves. It's kind of like holding, like buying paper gold and silver. I don't get it, but I can understand why people would buy, paper gold and silver to over crypto. I guess because they don't want to hold the physical, even though I don't understand that. But I get that a lot more than I get people not wanting to buy crypto. Why go through the process of holding it in a DAT? That just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's just the part that I could never understand. And I've had so many people try to explain it, and all of their arguments are, it's like, well, I could do that myself. I can stake. I can do this. Like, yeah. So any of these, I don't care what crypto, if it's the freaking fart coin treasuries, like buy fart coin or what it is. I'll never understand.
If you want fart coin, you buy your own fart coin. If you want cock coin, you buy your own cock coin.
Yeah. Hold your own cock.
Yes.
You don't need to go through a cock treasury.
Hold your cock. By the way, did you know that they have they have like this mechanism for that coin, like where they have cock fights?
Oh no.
I'm not shitting you. This is a thing. This is a real thing. And actually, the Cryptotwits space on Next that Barkley and I host, sometimes the cock team is there and they talk, and it's pretty damn funny. Okay. Oh yes,
those guys. I'll give it to the cock community. They are pretty freaking wild because that trends on Cryptotwits so much.
Oh, it does.
And it's just them in there talking crap to each other. I love
Also,
it.
I love that when Stocktoberfest was going on, Barkley wasn't involved in this. Yes, he was. We're like, guys, crypto folks on StockTwits. We got the StockTwits crypto community involved. Like, we need to make meme coins the #1 trending tickers so that all the TradFi StockTwits people at Stocktoberfest, when they open the app, they're like, why is Fartcoin and Cotcoin #1 trending tickers on this app? Hey, we didn't get fired. I mean, what do you do? That's an engaged community. There's nothing but happiness right there.
Shout out to Tom Bruni. I know he's shown the app to so many different people, and he always has to filter out crypto only to equities just because Cotcoin was always top 2.
Yeah, that's the joy of. Oh, I love degen. Okay, Polymarket, betting community. What are they thinking is going on here? So, what will Solana hit this February? It's 11% of people say are betting on Polymarket. 11% say it's going to hit 120. 100%. I don't know how that works. Are looking at 90, which that did happen.
Yeah, so that's like, will it hit? So if it hit it, market resolves. Not where might want to look at like where.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong
month,
the wrong page. Let's look at the monthly. All right,
that's where things get pretty wild.
So, Bitcoin. Actually, let's look at this week for Bitcoin or the monthly. All right, what price? So this is for Binance's for BNB. What price will BNB hit in 2026? 1,500. 24% of people say that. 1,600, 15%. For Bitcoin, what price will Bitcoin hit in 2026? When you're looking at the higher end, nobody's really looking at 200K, because the two options are 200K or 250K. Nobody is really like willing to put money on either one of those at all right now. It's totally empty. It sucks. That's view. Bitcoin in February. Let's see. Well, Bitcoin. Where are we at? 2nd through the 8th. Trying to find one here that's will Satoshi move any Bitcoin in 2026? Yes or no? There's an 8% chance. Oh, where are we at? Actually, not. What about Ethereum? Nothing juicy here really. Let's see what's trending.
All right, you can bet on the 15-minute for Bitcoin. Bitcoin 15-minute up or down.
Oh,
$25 million of volume.
So, yeah, there used to be this thing in the U.S. Oh, actually, I think it still exists. The binary options. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but they're basically pretty much like betting markets. Those existed, and then they went away, and now they like the CME. Ooh, they're coming out with their own crypto, by the way. If I read that news article correctly, the headline. I didn't actually read the article. I just saw the headline that the CME is coming out with their own token. But binary markets, because when I'm looking at Polymarket, trending. Let's see, do Bitcoin. Actually, I just go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin 15-minute. What, you were looking at the 15-minute one?
Yeah, Bitcoin up or down. 15-minute price to beat 67,370, and it's fucking rallying hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's 9 minutes left. But you know what? Because Polymarket's a partner of StockTwits, might as well like show the platform, show a little love. How's that sound? Screen.
Do it.
Let's do.
There it is.
So yeah, this is the 15-minute. This is on Polymarket. This is the 15-minute for Bitcoin, whether it's going to close up or down. That baseline there is at 60. What is that? 67,370. And god damn. Well, no wonder exchanges want to get in on this. Look how much activity there is.
Yeah, look at the volume. This is insane.
Jeez Louise. So, yeah, so basically in 8 minutes, you, oh yeah, this is great stuff. Boy, I don't even want to look at this because it looks so much fun.
It looks like Bitcoin's doing significantly better than it really is if you look at just this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just perspective. This is like the beer goggles version of looking at Bitcoin. Looks fine. I mean, let's see. Ethereum was down 10%. Now it's only down negative 7.74%. All right, let's see what else we got here. While we're looking
Now
at
you have to call
that's
bottom
on the screen.
And then if it doesn't bottom, we just edit it out.
Ooh. Let's see, how is he? Man. Ooh, Ethereum. Is that any activity here? Not a lot of volume on the Ethereum. Bitcoin. All right, so let's see. Tom Lee, we did that one. Systemic risk. Let's see. Oh, speaking of Polymarket, yeah, Jupiter. That's Solana's largest decentralized exchange on. Well, actually, it is quite centralized. If I'm being cheeky. Jupiter has brought Solana's market. My God, I can't talk. Jupiter has brought Polymarket to the Solana blockchain. That happened last week, like late last week. There was let's see, we're in hard stops right now. This is the only other session we're going through as we're watching Bitcoin's 15-minute activity on Polymarket. Let's see, a whale panic sold 200 Bitcoin at a $16.9 million loss. I don't fucking get that, by the way. Like, why? How? Like, if he had to have held it for a while. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. Bought 300 Bitcoin at an average of 111,459. And then he sold. Oof, still holding 100 Bitcoin. Ouch.
Yeah,
Bitwise's
that guy's doing
CIO
just fine.
Matt Haugen. By the way, he'll be fine. Have you ever seen Matt Haugen?
Nope.
I think that him and Tom Bruni, they share an ancestor somewhere. Are you looking?
What's his name?
Bitwise Matt Haugen.
Bitwise.
Matt Haugen, MattHougan.
Matt Haugen. Oh, I see it.
I feel like he took a quote out of one of my. Yeah. I feel like he took a quote out of one of my newsletters because I've talked to him a couple times on X. He says he calls what the market is right now. Matt Haugen from Bitwise says it's very 2022 like Leonardo DiCaprio in the Revenant style crypto winter. That is poetry, and I'm fairly certain I've said that before somewhere in the past. Let's see, Zach's strategist from Zach. Oh, who cares about what Zach says? I have a brother named Zach. Oh, let's see. We did that. Oh, yeah. If you want to put this into perspective for crypto, how bad like the last week has been. Over $500 billion in market cap thwopped. That's rough. Because the total market cap, or the altcoin market cap, is now below $1 trillion. That's kind of a depressing thing for the altcoin market. But yeah, I mean, it's just red all over the place. Yeah, thankfully, when crypto, my 12ish years in crypto, when these accelerated moves occur near these lows already, I mean, it's kind of like the last little death knell before things flatten out a little bit. But we'll see. I don't know. Do you think we end up going longer, or is this is like the tail end of it?
I sure as hell hope it's the tail end of it, but I mean, I feel like we've thought about this. I remember when we even were saying, is Bitcoin in a bear market when it was at 89,000? In the comments, we were getting roasted like, oh, this is nothing. It's bouncing already. And it's like, well, how'd that work out for you? Now you're down another 21,000 from there. I mean, it feels like the 60,000-ish area will be around the bottom, but like, I thought the buyers would have piled in as soon as you crossed like that psychological level of 70,000, but it hasn't really happened yet.
Nope. I mean, when I look at the monthly chart for Bitcoin, and I like the two oscillators I use the most when I'm doing my own trading and analysis are the composite index and the 7-period detrended price oscillator. But the composite index, this is the lowest it's ever been. This is like a new all-time low in that index. So that's pretty nuts. And Bitcoin is on track for. I mean, we're still early in February, but if Bitcoin were to close today, this would be the 5th consecutive month in the red. Wrap your head around that. 5th
yeah, and it doesn't feel
month.
like it's been 1%, 3% declines. It's been pretty significant.
Yeah, especially lately. And I think, you know what? Last month's close, the January 2026 close, that was the 4th red month in a row. The longest stretch is 6 months. That was from August 2018 to January 2019. So if it goes to 5, that's the second longest stretch of consecutive red months for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens, but yeah, it's pretty bleak out there for crypto. Well, depends. If you've been in the space for a long time, you're probably secretly giddy. I always say as happy as a fat kid in a candy store on a buy one, get 10 free sale. You're like lower, longer, please, if your outlook is in years. But yeah, so for everybody else, though, it's rough. And for newsletter readers who don't like the gallows humor, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. We have to poke fun at ourselves, and you can be miserable, or you can be miserable and happy. Choose miserable and happy.
Gotta be.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that does. Oh, next week we are going to have our first guest, and I'm not going to say who it is because we just need to get everything wrapped and confirmed that they're going to be here. But we're going to have our first guest on the show with us, and then after that, there's going to be even a few more because we've got a lot of interest in the show now. So that's awesome. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to watch Joey on his podcast with Mike, the True Odds, which when do you guys usually shoot that?
Usually shoot those on Tuesdays to release on Wednesdays.
They talk about sports and stuff.
Hey, anything on the prediction markets, we're just bringing it up. We might have to bring up these Bitcoin ones, but they move so fast that.
No, you stay. That is.
Hey, we did use your silver call.
You stay in your lane.
And we rode that 57% to 98%, cashed it out right before it crashed and went to 0%. So, I mean, it was a good swing, but it was like, why risk?
That's crazy ass swing. Those gold and silver swings that are still happening are like the largest market cap swings of any asset in history. It's absolutely insane. Which is weird that we don't really.
Everything about this market, like you look at the swings in gold, silver, Bitcoin, you look at what's happening to software because of like the whole Claude bot and Molt book. Like this market, it gets spooked so easily. and the declines are shit. I've never seen anything like this before. To see multiple asset classes declining as fast and as hard as they have, and just look at the amount of wealth that's just been absolutely destroyed, it's absolute insanity. And you look at the S&P and it's like 2% from all-time highs. It's like, how the hell is that when part of my, like one of my main portfolios is down 20, 30% this year. And the S&P I was checking was like green yesterday. It's just, depending on where you are, you might be doing fine. Depending on others, you might be getting smoked.
I have maintained, so I started Stocktwits in June of 2022. And then when Tom went on a little break back in December of that year, I wrote the daily rip for a couple weeks. One of the first things I wrote about in the daily rip was the yen and how it's like the chart that scares the piss out of me the most, and it should scare people the most. And I put it in the light paper. Oh my God, it's not called the light paper anymore. It's the Cryptotwits newsletter. But I still put it in there every once in a while. Like this chart, this is, if people want to know what big money is so nervous and anxious about, it's this thing. It's the Japanese yen.
Yeah, you've been talking about this since I even got here.
This is the thing that should be terrifying and most concerning for most people, but it's because financial news and crypto news like to talk about things that are bad because people always want to know what's happening when things are bad. But there's something that new financial people don't ever really like to talk about because it's the thing that's actually really scary to talk about, and they don't want to call any attention to it. And I'm doing that right now. It's this thing, the Japanese yen. I mean, there's not enough time to go into like a full deep dive, but yeah, this is a scary.
John, this is your podcast. You can take this as long as you want.
That's a whole different story than the dollar index. There's this yen index because the Japanese the 30. Where are you at? Up here. Jeez, it's still up there. Holy cow. The 30-year bond. That's nuts. I can't believe it's still up there. The 40, the 10. Oh, my Lanta. Yeah.
Look at that.
I know people keep...
oh, shit.
People talk about like the interest rates and our treasuries and debt and stuff like that. For the dollar, don't look at those. Those don't matter. This is the one that should be scaring the piss out of everybody. The yen is back when foreign currencies were pretty much everything that I traded. We called the Japanese yen the widowmaker because everybody for years has been like there's so much debt in Japan and that's gonna collapse and blah 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 blah. Well, nobody knows when that's going to happen, but holy cow. I mean, the yen, it might not ever collapse. It might be the last thing standing. And then we'll all be saying, and yen it happened.
Oh, boy. Oh. That's the title of the podcast right there.
Anyways. And yen it happened. Oh, great. In fact, I think Polymarket, like, the smart people over at Polymarket know how scary the yen is. That I don't even know if they have a thing about the yen on there because they don't even want to call attention to it. But sorry, Edgar, and then Mike Bowling, who has to watch this and try to piece it together. This thing's so disconnected today.
I mean, that's the state of the market. It's
anyways,
total chaos.
It is nuts. But yeah, that's all I've got. So I've got to bounce. I've got to go to the other thing that we're doing. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.